Hi everybody, welcome to the Messy Cook's first cooking video. I'm excited to share some great recipes using our Messy Cook spice blends. Today we're going to cook about 4 pounds of chicken. You season it up with our taco blend. We're going to be cooking a ton because my wife says I cook for an army every time I cook. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Take your big metal mixing bowl, got to do the cool flip thing with it. Then forget something and have to set it back down. Go ahead and trim your chicken up. You're going to trim up any nasty bits off the chicken there that are looking weird or bloody. Go ahead and use your Dalstrong knife. That's super cool. I got it for Father's Day. It's their Sugar Series. Great knife. Go ahead and cut that chicken up into 4-inch, right into 1-inch cubes. And you can go down as far as like a half-inch cube, but you want something that's got a little bit of bite to it. That way, when you make the tacos, it's going to hold up under that. So throw it in the bowl. You don't want to trim off any of these weird fat pieces. They don't render very well. It's going to make the chicken cut. You end up with some stringiness to your chicken, and it's not really great when you're trying to eat a taco and it's fighting you. So go ahead and trim all those off there. Sometimes it'll fight you. Chicken fat's kind of weird. That stringiness is exactly why we want to get rid of it. So once you do that, you repeat until you have a big bowl of chicken just like that. We're going to add some olive oil. It'll help everything kind of bind together as we go there. We're going to take our Messy Cook taco seasoning blend. You can measure with your heart and put whatever you want in there. I use about a tablespoon per pound, so I'm going to put about 4 tablespoons into what we're doing here. And you can always add a little more. I'm going to probably add a little more because I'm just like that. I like a little extra seasoning. It adds a little extra pop. The chipotle and some of the seasonings in there with the chili powder and cumin add a whole bunch of flavor. So always a good thing. We're going to go ahead and get messy. Our name is the Messy Cook. And we're going to mix that chicken up. You got to mix it real good so that way you get everything coated where you want it and not have to worry about it. Next step, we're going to check our pans, make sure they're hot. You got to make sure these pans are hot, especially cast iron, because if you don't do some preheating with it, it's not going to do what you want. So you put your hand over like you're a Jedi there and heating up the pan. Going to add some olive oil. Let that come up to temp. Make sure it's kind of coating the bottom of the pan there. You want to make sure you add the oil to the pan, let it preheat a little bit so you don't burn the oil, but you want to make sure you're preheating the pan before you add the oil so that you don't burn the oil as the pan gets hot. I'm also starting to prep the tortilla griddle so we have a nice hot griddle to cook the tortillas on. Once that's nice and hot and you get that shimmering from the oil or some smoke, you're going to add that chicken in. Make sure you push that chicken down so you're getting as much of it in contact with that cast iron pan as you can so you get a nice sear going on it. That sear is going to add a whole bunch of flavor and taste to that. It's going to give you some of that char flavor that you're looking for from like a grill or a cast iron pan. Once you get that, you're going to let that sit for a minute. The key to this is just letting it cook and get onto that pan. Once you have let it sit for a minute, you're going to stir, kind of repeat that process, get some more chicken that hasn't had the opportunity to have some love from that pan and get some good crisp on it, get some good sear on that chicken. You're going to mix it around and press that all back down so you get a nice sear on some more chicken there. The key with this is being patient and letting it cook once you get it pressed down and do it so you actually get some sear on that chicken. As you can see in the video, I've got a little helper here. He won't leave me alone because we're cooking. Once you see that you've got your chicken fairly well going there, you got that sizzling in the pan, it's cooking right along. You're going to see that pink from the chicken start to disappear, and the chicken's going to start to release some of the water it's got inside of it. You're going to see a little bit of juice in the pan as some of that chicken starts to render out a little bit. Once you kind of get to that point where you're not seeing so much pink in that, you're going to add our secret ingredient, which is always butter. Butter makes everything better. So you're going to scoop some butter in there. I'm going to throw about 3 pads in. Those pads are going to help, as they melt, they're going to emulsify the sauce and bring it all together so that it has one setup going on. And it's going to allow that to kind of coat the chicken and give it a buttery richness with that taco seasoning. So you'll stir that butter in and get it all coated into that. Once you're getting there and you've got that emulsified in there, kind of give it a minute to cook down and start to coat that, stir the chicken around so it gets all on there. Once you reach that point, you're going to start checking to see if that chicken's all done. And as you can see, I can't even keep the pan on the stove because it's kind of, some of that chicken's kind of got some crispy bits on it on the bottom there. living up to my name, knocking things out of the pan, pushing my pan around, making a mess in the kitchen. The kids and the wife love that. Once you do that, the chicken's going to kind of tear instead of still be stringy once it's done. So that's a real quick way to check if you cut into it. So you'll kill the heat, pull it off. We're going to move on to cooking our tortillas here. Get them on that nice hot pan. You're going to let them sit. Through movie magic, you'll see when we pick this up here, there's some bubbles on that. That's what you're looking for. So you get a nice cook on that. These are the raw tortillas that are ready to be cooked. So you're just a pressed out flour tortilla that needs to be cooked from the origin. They're super tasty, buttery. They take like 30-40 seconds longer than a normal tortilla. Everything's all cooked up now. Time to plate. We're going to take and put our chicken into that tortilla. I like a fat taco, so I'm going to load it up and make a healthy taco there. It's going to be super tasty if I don't drop half the food there. So you're going to dress these up however you want. I put some cojita cheese and some green habanero sauce on mine. Key here is make some great food, have a great life, make a mess while you're doing it, have some fun. These tacos are awesome. The Messy Cook appreciates you watching.